To save you the agony of having to listen to me ramble, I have sped up all audio recordings in this video. Enjoy.
Hey, it's been about a year now. It has been quite an eventful one. It just so happened that I had just finished the RHG 7 intro, and everyone's been really excited about that in some of the social circles I'm in. And after that, I decided, I should probably take a little hiatus from that, because it's been successful, it's been fun and good and all, but, I could probably treat myself to a little something. And so I decided that I would go and model, and of course you saw that stuff. It took me about, several months, I think, to get that done. Overall, it was quite the ordeal. Finally, that one headshot got done, and it was basically some practice, I guess, in modeling, and also just for a few references I was building on other social sites, not related to this one. And then after that, I decided, I should take another hiatus, this time just away from 3ds Max in general, because it's been a long time that I've been doing it. And, several months is pretty long at any rate. So finally, after that happened, I decided I would go and game a little. And I kept gaming for some time, then I got bored of that game, and I took a break from that one. And did some more gaming. And then, after I got bored of that game, I finally moved on. Did something else, which involved doing some more gaming. So then finally, after a point, I said, okay, I should really get off of this. There are other things to do. And then I went and did some more gaming. And this process continued for some time until, finally, I encountered something new. Something exciting. Something like... Yeah, like that. It so happened that my wonderful desktop was not faring as well as I thought it would. Some points when I was doing gaming, I think it was when I was doing Fallout 4, I had a voltage drop issue, and the CPU just kept dying on me. The PC would have to restart again because, well, it didn't really volt properly. And the whole reason was because the game would reach a point where it wasn't loading any content, or there wasn't a lot going on, and the CPU didn't need to put out as much. So it dropped its voltage, thinking, oh, this is a great time to just start doing brownouts now, since clearly we don't need that power for anything important. And then as soon as the game starts loading, or configuring AIs in it, or otherwise just getting content ramped back up again, and something exciting is about to happen, then it crashes. So, eventually, to counter that, I went to the BIOS, tampered around, and tried to set so that the clocking or the volting that the PC is doing would be stable, constant. Now, the only two modes on the BIOS that came with the computer were regular voltage, where it will drop normally, and extreme voltage, where it is always running at 100% max voltage, or wattage, or what have you, and that definitely proved to be a problem in its own right, for obvious reasons. As it so happened, the motherboard and the PCIe slots must have been harmed in some way by the process. I think. Either the warranty expired and there was some sort of self-destruct mechanism in it, I don't know. But regardless, one by one the PCIe slots went bad, as I later discovered. The monitors could not connect to them without eventually running into an issue where, as it said in the screenshots there, the device would have trouble with its threads. It would get stuck in the device driver. And, well, that was about it. That was game over. There was not a lot that could really be done about that. So, for a while, about 5 months, I had been using my Lenovo computer, which was the computer I was using before I got this shiny desktop of mine. It was, even for its day, kind of a potato. It wasn't really good for AAA titles or anything like that. It could barely run Skyrim on the minimum settings, so obviously it wasn't the best machine for doing any of the stuff I like to do. As far as 3D modeling went, there would have been no way on God's green earth I would have been able to render the RHG 7 intro like I did. So, needless to say, there was no way I was going to make any progress using this desktop, and also in my attempts to salvage the previous computer, I might have wiped the hard drive a few times thinking that would fix the problem. So there really wasn't as many 3ds Max files around as I would have liked. I fortunately did have the good luck of having a friend who taught me about how to recover things that were unflagged and supposedly deleted from the hard drive, so I did actually recover a great deal of stuff that I thought was just going to be lost to time. But unfortunately, the damage has still been done. There's not a lot that can really be done about the way things are. considering that some of the files are still lost to time, it couldn't recover everything, because after all, the hard drive will write over anything that's been unflagged by it. And, well, unfortunately, one of the casualties of that war I waged was... oh god. It was the, RHG Battle 7 map. So, Hope Breeze Fjord, that entire map is now gone. It doesn't exist anymore. All the mountains, all the plains, all the trees, the ocean, the entrance to the secret hideout, which you guys did not get to see, all of that is gone now. I had to make it all from scratch, and that took me weeks to make. Literal weeks. So, yeah, that's great. So anyhow, whenever I get back around to animating again, needless to say, I'd have to do it all over again. And it probably won't be the same, of course, because Rock Hard Gladiators is, well, pretty friggin' dead. But that's perfectly okay, because I actually consulted with some of the individuals I was going to be doing the three-way with, and it turns out that they were okay with hosting it on the spiritual successor to RHG, which would be Dojo Duels. And of course, that entire tournament being hosted by Pion's Dojo, you know it's going to be a great base for future stake animators. Season 3 just ended as of when this recording was taking place. They're on to Season 4 now. I could have something in by the end of that, or it could be Season 5. I don't keep track of how long each season is. Probably a year, I think. Like in most sports. But anywho, the thing is, though, that I can't really go back to my old Rock Hard Gladiators map because that stuff all took place on Planet Styx, which is made by Shadow Kirby. It's great for the RHG canon, but when it comes to Dojo Duels, they have their own planet called, I think it's pronounced Seer, whatever. Anyway, that planet, and everything that happens in Dojo Duels has to canonically take place there. Now, fortunately, there are some places like the Aegis Fields, which actually could be mimicked, I want to say. It could actually be quite comparable to Hope Breeze Fjord, and if I wanted to go by the same standards, the same setting as what was seen in the intro, I could actually just place all the characters there, and that should be that. It should be perfectly fine. It's bordered by an ocean to the south, you could have a river cutting through it, maybe some hills towards the north, so it all pans out okay. Now, of course, that does require that I actually have a computer which can render all of this. And for that purpose, around Black Friday, I finally said, okay, screw it, I'm done. I can't take this Lenovo anymore. I realize now why I had upgraded. It's time for a new computer. Now, as it so happens, there actually is a viable candidate for that. CyberPower PC was the company that I had bought my most recent desktop from, and that one wasn't quite the monster, at least by my family's standards. It was the very first piece of hardware in the entire house to actually surpass the trend line on Moore's Law. Like, $1,000 of the computing is supposed to equal X amount of processing power. And that computer just grossed over $1,000 in value, especially if you added the monitor that came with it. Anyhow, it was a great computer. It actually was the very first piece of technology in the house that was, I guess you could call, current year. And that was a huge leap forward for me and my family. I've really been happy with it. Well, it lasted at least. So, needless to say, I wanted to revisit that company, and this time I wanted something that wasn't pre-built. I wanted something custom-built. Something that could handle all the stress you could possibly throw at it. Something that wouldn't overheat. Something that didn't have issues with overvoltage. Something that was designed that you could overclock it if you wanted to, such that if you do need to fix the voltage drops, it's not going to die or anything like that because of it. A computer that was meant to be, like, I don't know, future-proof for the next 8 years. And that's what I ordered. Goes without saying that this is easily the most powerful PC, and also 3 times more expensive than any other PC that me or any other member of my family has ever owned. So my family estate has really been welcoming this new addition. The unboxing effort revealed a lot of great things as well, new peripherals that I get to try out. There's now a CD burner, DVD burner, a webcam, the first I've ever owned, and also the ability to cast to the TV screen, which could also be a fun addition. However, we may employ that. And of course there's numerous other gadgets as well, keyboards that actually have LEDs. The keys won't rub off on them because that was a problem that I had with the old setup. A mouse that didn't get a bunch of finger cheese all over it, like, good grief, it was disgusting. So getting used to the weight of it though, and I keep right-clicking, but, you know, at least it doesn't smell. I have an HDMI monitor plugged in, and that of course was a godsend. This was actually the monitor that managed to resurrect the old desktop that I had for a while until that HDMI jack also burned out. We finally just said forget it and started salvaging that old computer for parts. But this one right here, I am proud to say, has been amazing. It's ridiculously fast. This thing starts up within seconds, really. Compared to the old hard drive I had before, which was mechanical in the old PC, it's probably the most stupidly amazing upgrade of it all. At least when I first noticed it out of the box. This thing, even in this unboxing video, will actually start up from a shutdown phase, and by the time that I put my camera up to the screen, it's already at the login. No joke. Getting this computer from UPS, drying it off after just sprinting through the rain with the case, hauling it up the stairs, setting it up, turning it on, and just watching the magic happen is probably the #1 best day of my entire adult life. And, best of all, that means I can finally continue producing content for you guys.